Okay, so it looks like we were up just over 19% today. That builds on yesterday's nearly 30% gain in our share price. Today we closed at 73 cents a share, and we had an intraday high of 94 cents a share on volume of in excess of 15 million shares. Now, needless to say, we're still trading under $1 a share. We're going to have to consistently close, or at least have a bid price of at least $1 or more for 10 consecutive business days in order to avoid being delisted, right? We're sort of still under that situation that resulted from our stock price dipping down below $1 a share for over 30 business days. And we've talked about this before on this channel. Suffice it to say, the mechanism for a reverse stock split is in place. So if we need to go that route, we'll do it. But I think at this juncture, if we catch a little bit of luck here, maybe we could push north of $1 and stay north of $1 for at least 10 business days and reset the clock on potential delisting. That'll be a really nice thing. So another couple of things that have been on the top of my mind have really just been, and again, it sucks to have to think about something that happened at this point almost like 2 months ago or so, right? I mean, it's kind of more fun to think about this stuff when it's actually happening. But we are going to be getting at some point, right, our Q4 results for 2022, as well as our year-end, 10K, which will include our results, of course, for the whole year, fiscal year 2022. And I'm cautiously optimistic, more than cautiously optimistic, that Q4 results will not disappoint. I think we kind of already know that we had a pretty great, amazing, surreal, magical end to the fourth quarter as a result of, Winter Storm Elliott in conjunction with some PJM grid issues, which resulted in a jackpot, like a true jackpot for the company, which is awesome, which is great. And that's, again, one of the beauties of our business model is, right, that we can actually sell the electricity we produce to the grid. And sometimes we can do that for prices that are quite remarkable. The flip side to that, as we've begun to discover right now as we head into 2023, is that, grid prices are quite fickle. And, what they giveth in late December, they perhaps taketh away in early January. So we've pretty much been existing in a PJM grid environment that has not been, very noteworthy. If anything, it's been quite lackluster. On many days, we're actually seeing grid prices that are substantially below our actual net cost to produce power. So if the only business we had was generating electricity and then selling that electricity to the PJM grid, things wouldn't be looking so good. But that is not the only thing we can do. We also have the ability to mine Bitcoin. And what's kind of remarkable is the fact that we can mine Bitcoin one of two ways. We can power our Bitcoin, mining machines with the electricity that we produce ourselves at our power plants. So that's the first way we can do it. The second way we can do this is by importing or buying electricity from the PJM grid and using that electricity to power our Bitcoin mining machines. So when we have a situation like we've been having now during the first part of 2023, where grid prices are dramatically below, in some cases, our net cost of producing power, well, we can idle our power plants and import electricity from the PJM grid and then capture a much wider margin as a result of doing so. If grid prices are around $15 a megawatt, that translates into roughly 1.5 cents per kilowatt, right? And so when you do the math, it's, that's a lot more lucrative to just import that power from the grid and use it to mine Bitcoin, especially when, Bitcoin priced in dollars per megawatt hour Sometimes they're as high as like, $75, $80. So, bringing in power at $15 and then, translating that into a $85, Bitcoin equivalent, right, dollars in megawatt hour price. Well, that's a pretty big spread. Much better, one could argue, than producing electricity ourselves at, say, roughly 40 to 45 to $50 a megawatt hour, and then turning around and using that to power our Bitcoin mining machines. So we'll probably get a little bit more color, a little bit more context as to how that particular aspect of our business is going during the Q4 2022 earnings call, which at this juncture will probably be announced sometime, in late February. And, not only will we, go over the results of, Q4 2022, but we'll probably, add a little bit of color as to what's going on right now. Speaking of what's going on right now, so the last couple of days, the price of Bitcoin has been surging, and that's awesome. But what I've also noticed is that the network hash rate has gone ballistic. I think at one point today saw the network hash rate at around maybe like 385 exahash, maybe 390 exahash. That's pretty darn high. So as a result of that, what I've also noticed, and this is kind of interesting, is that our dollars in megawatt hour equivalent Bitcoin pricing, so to speak. I know it's a bit convoluted the way I'm explaining it. But basically, I've noticed that number has come down in value somewhat. So I think at one point today I saw it around $66, which is still phenomenal when you have grid prices around, say, like, $27 to $30. That's practically doubling your money. Right? It's pretty good. But it is interesting that the higher that network hash rate gets, it kind of does diminish our ability to really pocket even fatter margins than would be the case if, let's say, the network hash rate were maybe 270 or 280, something more in that range, something like under 300. But hey, these are very, very volatile markets. The price of Bitcoin, the price of electricity. I mean, these things are incredibly, incredibly volatile. And those are revenue inputs that we as a company, we just don't really have a whole lot of control over. I mean, yeah, it would be great if we could influence the grid prices, right? Or somehow influence the price of Bitcoin, but that's not in our control. What we do have in our control is the ability to manage costs, which we've done a remarkable job at doing. We have the ability to negotiate with our lender, right? To try to figure out a win-win situation going forward, even more of a win-win collaborative situation than the one we struck in late October of 2022. And we've done that. And so when you see all of these things taking place, it fills me with tremendous, not just confidence, but a real certainty, an absolute certainty that we are doing everything we can to hit it out of the park when we get, that perfect pitch. And we've been getting a lot of perfect pitches, and we've been swinging, and we've really been hitting it out of the park. And, I think in this environment that's so incredibly challenging, not just macroeconomically, but just, really in every sense of the word, it's a very, very tough environment that we're in right now. We have really done an amazing job, and all the credit goes really to everybody working at the power plants in the control room, the folks at the data center, our friends in management, right, in New York. I mean, really the whole team. This is not just like one person or two people. It's really the entire team working cohesively together to really go after this goal, right? This vision that we have for this company, and to really ensure that we can still be alive to see that day when all of this preparation, all of this work that we've done can really start to bear fruit, right? To really start to see some amazing financial results. And again, we can't control electricity prices. We can't control Bitcoin prices. We can't really control the network hash rate. There are things out of our control, but the things that we can control, we've just done an amazing job of controlling them. and controlling them in a way that really sets us up for success. And that's something that I am absolutely certain about. So, hey, the stock's going up. I don't want to jinx anything, okay? I'm not here to really celebrate that per se. I am, however, here to acknowledge the fact that we're gaining some traction. You know, watch us be down 40% tomorrow, right, for no reason at all. These markets are very volatile. Our stock is very volatile. Everything about this is incredibly, incredibly volatile, incredibly exciting, and I'm just so incredibly honored and I feel so blessed, really, to be on this journey. And I hope you do as well. You know, all we can do is have some fun as we go about this. After all, look, this is life, right? Life can be short. So let's just have the most amount of fun as we can, you know, on this journey, because I do really believe that at the end of the day, we're going to be able to look back and say like, oh my gosh, that was truly one of the most exhilarating, insanely challenging, yet so in many ways, like, God, just such a rewarding experience. And there aren't that many things in life that we can truly say that about, but I think this is going to be one of them. So let's see what happens.